concentration today. So, is the mic not on yet? Did I just hook it off by mistake?
Yeah.
Let's take a look. No, I bet you that's the battery. Okay. There we go. So there we go. Well, the battery is low, so we'll have the backup in case. So this morning is a study in concentration because our other son James is pitching at this very moment down in Rome, New Jersey, where my wife is. And so during the passing of the piece, you know, they actually have this way you can follow the games. And so they're losing 3-1, but he has struck out 8 people. And he has only given up 1 earned run of the 3 runs that have come in, so they're losing 3-1, but it's all right, he's having a good day. So may they win, that would be great. So when I think of persistence, I think of our children. So given that James is actually not here today, I will talk about him. But we're going to switch. Go ahead and switch. We can do that. We'll just do. And so, some of you may have heard my wife Kim refers to Caleb as our Bill T. Jones child. He is our creative, the dancer, the artist. And James is our Barack Obama child. He is the lawyer. He is the one who will make the cogent arguments in order to make his case. And so just last week, James was living up to his name when the lawyer and him spent 2 hours trying to convince Kim and I using 5 different arguments and approaches to make his point and to attempt to get Kim and I to change our mind. 2 hours of this. I thought I was patient before I became a parent. I had to develop a new level of patience when our kids were born. Parenting is not for the faint of heart. If children are anything, they are persistent. So last week in Minneapolis, St. Paul, we heard the news related to the death of Philando Castile. So we know the drill. An unarmed black man or woman is killed by law enforcement. Law enforcement, particularly the police union, circles the wagons and tell us that we don't really quite know all of the facts. The officer who killed the young man or young woman describes his or her fear for their own safety and their own lives. And then the officer is acquitted. So people of faith, what choice do we have? Well, we can support the verdict. We can do nothing about the verdict. Or we can persist with our voices and with our actions. Our faith calls us to persist. And some of us do not even have a choice whether or not to persist, because if we do not persist, we will be vulnerable and we will die. We have to persist. So one of the common misuses of the word, of what it means to be a prophet, is about foretelling the future. And the perception is inferred from what the prophet actually does. So a prophet articulates to those in power what happens when you treat people poorly? So, if X happens, if you do X, Y will happen. The prophet points out that people are being dealt with unjustly or marginalized, and that there are clear consequences for those actions. Being prophetic is to say that something is wrong and needs to be changed, and it reminds people and institutions that we do reap what we sow. Hear these words again from the prophet Jeremiah this morning. For whenever I speak, I must cry out, I must shout violence and destruction, for the word of the Lord has become for me a reproach and a derision all day long. I will not mention him or speak any more of his name. Then within me, there is something like a fire, a burning fire shut up in my bones, and I am weary with holding it, and I cannot. Prophets are unable to be silent. They have something to say. Are prophets persistent? You bet. Whether they want to or not. Is being a prophet popular? Or is it kind of sexy? No. Prophets usually don't want to be prophets. Will being prophetic get you into trouble? Yes. And in some cases it will get you killed. Does saying yes to a relationship with God bring you a pain-free and smooth life? No. Once we say yes to a relationship to God, there is no turning back. A relationship with God, a relationship with Jesus as Christians, proclaiming Jesus as Lord, demands us to love everyone. Once your eyes have been opened to the love and the integrity of all people, to acts of injustice, marginalization, and hatred, we cannot unsee it. We cannot unsee the death of these young men and women that we see on videotapes, on YouTube. We cannot unsee the LGBTQ lives that have been killed, driven by hatred. Being prophetic is what it means to be a Christian. We cannot proclaim to be Christians and not claim that being prophetic is not a part of it. Got me? I remember when my wife Kim was pregnant with our oldest son James, and she started to go into labor. And we went to the hospital. The doctor said to her, "You're not ready yet." So we went out to breakfast that morning. And it was one of those moments when the two of us were sitting there and we realized this is our last time together as Kim and John. Because once your child is born, once you become a parent, you don't undo being a parent. Now, you may have various kinds of relationships, you may do negative things, or you may choose not to have a relationship, but you are still a parent. Your life is never, you cannot undo that event. So then we hear the words from the Gospel of Matthew. What I say to you in the dark, tell in the light. What you hear whispered, proclaim from the housetops. Do not fear those who kill the body but cannot kill the soul. Rather, fear those who can destroy both the soul and the body in hell. Beware of those who go after your soul. I want to argue that today we are called to be prophetic in a time when there are those who want to kill our soul. So what does that look like? Well, I think part of going after our soul is not actually having the eyes to see. So we see videotapes of people getting killed. I mean, I remember Rodney King. I remember Sandra Bland and Eric Gardner. And then folks try to say, but that's actually not really what's happening. And so, part of going after your soul is to try to convince you that you're not seeing what you're seeing. So part of it is not having the eyes to see what is clearly happening in front of us. These actions are assaults on our souls. Faith communities that see God as a big ATM in the sky. If you do the right things, God will compensate you. But what is left unsaid and implied is if you don't do the right things, particularly as defined by that community of faith, then God will not bless you. These actions erode our souls. The front page of the New York Times, you remember, it was about a month ago, was that picture of Antarctica and the melting that is happening. I mean, you can see it. And then those, including those in the White House, say, well, global warming really doesn't exist. These actions are about numbing our souls. When we demonize a population as the problem, you know, if LGBT folks get married, it's going to ruin the institution of marriage, and black people, all they want is they want folks to give them stuff, they're just takers, and all Muslims are terrorists, and all immigrants from Latin America take jobs from hard-working Americans. These are actions that kill our souls. Though I grew up in more progressive theological circles, we didn't talk a lot about evil. This is evil. This is demon possession, the inability to see. Evil is waging war on our souls. Our individual and collective souls are under attack. So as a Christian, who are prophetic, our call is to not just be persistent in our fight, but we need to be faith-rooted in our persistence. So what does that look like? So when God talked this past Wednesday, the best Bible study ever, isn't that right? Yeah. All right, the best Bible study ever. That's right, a week from Wednesday, 6:30. We talked about faith-rooted persistence was described as it's both demanding, but it's satisfying. It can get you to go up against the norms of marginalization, and it can be fun. It can have you feel marginalized yourself, but there can be a sense of accomplishment. It can evoke fear, yet can be the source of liberation. We can experience people at their worst, and we can experience people at their best. Faith-rooted persistence is about transformation. Some of you have heard me say that true transformation is not when the person who holds the Confederate flag folds it and sit back in the trunk until it's time to pull it out again. Transformation is when that person says, I need to see the world differently. I need to get rid of that flag. And I need to have different kinds of relationships with people. That's faith-rooted persistence. Faith-rooted persistence is love and radical inclusion. It's where faith communities measure success by how much we show love to those, not just those that we love, but those that make our stomachs turn. Faith-rooted persistence is about being prophetic when times are not just okay, but when times are not okay. Not just when it's popular to be prophetic, but maybe when it's not so popular. Sticking with it, rooted in love, not by fear, not by our cynicism, not by our anger, not by our self-righteousness, but by our love. But the most important point I want us to leave with today is that if we are indeed prophetic as Christians, and we are called to demonstrate that with a faith-rooted persistence, this is not a fad. It's not a season. It's not a campaign. It's who we are. Faith-rooted persistence is who we are. We were joking in Bible study, because we're just looking forward to our new senior minister in August. And sometimes we all want to go, we're glad you're here. And we want to place all the stuff in our lap and then kind of walk back and so Elder Graham, we can take a breath. But it doesn't stop. Faith-rooted persistence is who we are. It's a part of what it means to follow Jesus. Faith-rooted persistence may ebb and flow, but it doesn't stop. Faith-rooted persistence is a part of being prophetic, caring for all of God's children, speaking the truth when other human beings are dehumanized and not valued, and sticking with it. Once we have opened the door, we cannot shut it. As prophets, I must cry out. It is like a fire shut up in my bones. So, Chris, I'm coming to the home stretch. So, musicians, choir, you can go on up. It's fine. All right, so my charge today, because this kind of goes a little with, what I'm saying. So my charge today is actually not just for the Pride marchers, but those who will be giving water out at Marble today. But it's those of us who remain behind. Because we're not marching does not mean that we are off the hook today. Being a Christian is serious business. At the end of our scripture, Matthew says to us, whoever loves their father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. And whoever loves son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. And whoever does not take up the cross and follow me is not worthy of me. Those who find their life will lose it. Those who lose their life for my sake will find it. I used to hate this scripture. I mean, really. I used to not like the scripture at all. I used to be really troubled by it. But what I came to see is that sometimes our relationships can hold us back. We can get consumed even by the best of our relationships. What was actually helpful for me was to think about the way that our families really are. Like we go home and we regress to old roles. There are some family relationships that actually are not good for us. But the point of all this is that we cannot be bound or held back by those relationships. This is serious business. Our ultimate accountability is to love everybody. Being prophetic comes from a deep place of love, particularly those of us who have been marginalized, demonized, shut out, and the object of hate. This is about how we have to live our lives. So as you give out water today, do it with faith-rooted persistence. As you march today, do it with faith-rooted persistence. As you sing today, do it with faith-rooted persistence. As you do errands this afternoon, do it with faith-rooted persistence. For whenever I speak, we must